What's going on, guys? Crucible here, and today we're going to be going over my deck profile for the Frieza deck. I've been putting up some videos over the course of the past couple days, kind of show what this deck is able to do, and I wanted to kind of cover Frieza back and during set 1 after the beta period, and I just never got around to talking about him. So, yeah, but let me know what you guys think, but let's talk about it. So Frieza, he's a very generic leader. He's not really doing anything too specific or restrictive. On his backside, he is just taking 2 battle cards and putting them to active. This is pretty good in the sense that, it's pretty good in the sense that it allows you to kind of safeguard your battle cards to an extent. And even if, and it really depends on the battle cards. Like, it's very specific, kind of like how you want to put some of these cards into active mode, which ones you should. Usually the more beneficial cards, the ones that allow you to make the plays you want to play. Like, if, for example, a lot of this deck is built around the freezing aspect of the 4-cost Goku here, or it allows you to take advantage of the resting and drawing potential of these Bulmas. So those are the kind of cards you want to put in active. Maybe even like these 2-drop Friezas that are able to constantly rest something at 3 or less, which, depending on your matchup, is a good chunk of the game. So that's more or less where I kind of have this kind of put and set. But yeah, Frieza himself, very generic, very good. It's really like with set 3, with the stuff coming out in set 3, it's just going to make Frieza even better. Barrier Buu is something that's probably going to be staple in every single yellow deck, just because of how much staying power that Buu has. Yeah, there's just no reason not to. There's just no reason not to run anything in any of those Buus in any yellow deck. Then we got Bulma. Bulma is a activate battle 1-drop card. The thing with her is that you always need to have a 3-cost or higher on the board in order to get her effect. So that's the Raccoon here, that's the Android 18, that's this Vegeta that can play her down for free, Cooler, the freezing Goku, the Double Striker, Secret Rare. And really it is kind of like dependent on how you want to play. Usually on your turn, in most cases on your turn, you want to be using her draw effect to be able to replace her in hand. And then on defense on your opponent's turn, depending on the situation, you may want to consider using her resting feature. Only due to the fact that if you look at her skills, you need to have a rest mode battle card with a cost of 3 or more in order to be able to get her draw. So you're kind of restricted on that front, but her first ability has no restriction, and it's 4 costs or less. So that's a good majority of the game, unless you're green, obviously. But yeah, I mean, Bulma's really good. She kind of helps to facilitate the hand size that Frieza is able to get and maintain, while also kind of helping to keep your opponent kind of in check. Yeah, Bulma, I think, is a fantastic set 2 card. Fantastic. Then we got the Sorbet. He's just a cantrip. We have 4 of the 1-drop Friezas. This is just on the chance that we need to rest something important on our opponent's board. This works especially well in the mirror when you're facing another Frieza. It's just important to have. Plus, the 10k combo is something that yellow kind of lacks, so having 10k combo is actually pretty beneficial. Then we got the Raccoon and Ginyu package. Pretty self-explanatory. Self-awaken with Raccoon. Play this guy on board if you have another Frieza clan on board to get 2 energy back. Allows you to play a little bit wider. Maybe play another one of these 2 costs on your turn with the 2 energy you have remaining up on turn 3. Pretty self-explanatory. Naze is here for the same reason that this Frieza is here. He is an auto self-awakener. meaning you have to take the life, and he's also a 10k combo once you awaken. I'm never playing this guy after I awaken, but it's on the off chance that I need some extra self-awakening power. He's there, and he's a blocker, so he kind of helps to keep keep like those crits at bay and stuff like that too. So good for the early game, not as good for the late game, but he's got the 10k power for the late game, so it kind of helps balance him out. Then we got the Self-Awakener Frieza. This Frieza is pretty much a staple in this deck. Probably a staple in most yellow decks. He Self-Awakens, and then he rests a 3-cost or less. Really good turn 2 play. No reason to really not play this guy on turn 2. Helps to maybe have 1 or 2 of these guys on board towards the mid-game to be able to rest some stuff. Yeah, this Frieza's pretty good. I like this Frieza. Then we got 3 of the Android 18s. Now, I don't see myself using her as much as I would like to. And the reason for that is due to the fact that in most matchups, your opponent is going to be swinging with everything that they have on board. So everything's already kind of in rest mode. But I have her here because she's a 10k combo. She helps to keep Frieza alive on the defense. And on the off chance that your opponent does play something but doesn't swing with it, then she kind of helps to facilitate that as well. She's a 3 cost, so obviously the Bulma here will be able to get her draw effect off of her. It's just a good combination in that regard. Then we have this Vegeta, only 3 copies of this Vegeta. Vegeta is a good card, but I've said this in so many videos before. KO effects or KOing is something that Bandai puts a lot of stock into, when the rest of the game kind of has means to get around that. This guy can be minused, bottom decked, returned to hand. He can be ramped into energy. He can be frozen down. Like, these effects don't matter as much as they used to. However, he is a Self-Awakener. He is able to play the Bulma for free. He is a great card to play on turn 3 when you're sitting at 6 life. Being able to Self-Awaken twice with this combo, if you have it, is really good. And then on the off chance that you are going up against like a control deck Beerus that has maybe a bit more KO cards, or green in that regard, he does protect all of your rest mode battle cards from KO effects. So I mean, he's pretty good. I don't think he's as good as when he was first announced, but and especially going into set 3. But I think this Vegeta is pretty strong, or pretty useful, I should say. Not strong, but pretty useful. Then we got 4-drop Cooler. This guy's fallen off quite a bit, mainly because now that we have stuff like this Goku and we have the Majin Vegeta coming in set 3. It's a little hard to justify using this guy, but his ability is really strong. He's a 30k swinger or blocker. He is definitely a prime target for the Frieza leader's ability. And just being able to rest any card on board while also KOing a 2-cost or less is not bad. It's not bad. If this was a 3-cost or less, like, this guy would be a lot better. But it's the fact that 2 costs or less, like, most decks are going to be playing more 3-drops and 4-drops every turn than they are 1 to 2 drops. So this has lost a bit. This has a bit less stock to it than it did in set 1, but Cooler can still be pretty beneficial. He can still be pretty nasty. And especially if you're able to get a double Cooler setup. Double Cooler is very oppressive. But again, he's only a 4-cost, so he can be Sinister Sickled. 30k is a little harder to get down on with minusing, but Beerus is able to kind of get him down with ease. Then, I mean, ramping is not something you see often in green, but it is something that happens, and he can't be rested down. So again, it's just permanently locked. So Cooler's good. 2 copies of him in this deck I think is fair. It's fine. But anything more than that, I think you're probably putting yourself at a disadvantage. You don't necessarily need that many Coolers in this. Then we have the staple card in this deck, the 4-drop Goku. Being able to lock something in rest mode permanently twice in 1 turn is pretty nasty. And when you're able to kind of play this guy back to back to back to back, which you guys have probably seen in the videos that I put up earlier in the week, your opponent just really isn't able to like get around that, and it kind of forces them to have to. It kind of forces your opponent to get off of your leader and start focusing on trying to clear these guys, because permanently locking your opponent's board makes it really hard for them to play those wide plays in order to whittle you down slowly but surely. So Goku's really good. 10k combo as well, so like on the off chance that you need to be defensive, you can get rid of one of these guys in hand and he'll pretty much protect you in that regard. But yeah, this Goku is pretty good. Then we got two of the double strikers, pretty self-explanatory. Double striker, 35k. He's able to do what the Goku does and permanently lock something on board. So you have like three of these Gokus on board to lock 2 or 3 things on there. You play this guy to lock the 3rd or the 4th card that they have on their board. Maybe go for game if you're able to. The double strike Frieza is pretty good. He's definitely one of the better double strikers in my opinion. Definitely one of the better ones. Yeah, I like Golden Frieza a lot. Then only one of the secret rare. I am not playing too many of the secret rare. I think the secret rare this secret rare is really good into green, but that's the only reason he's really here. He's able to KO something right off the bat as soon as he's played. And then anytime a 6-drop or higher or a 5 cost or higher is played, they go into rest mode, which means they don't get that swing. So double strikers are not an issue. Goku Black is not an issue. 8-drop Broly, 8-drop Cell, double striker droids, they are not an issue at all with this guy. Even the double striker Frieza can't get his lock ability because it's on attacking. So I think the secret rare is pretty slept on. It's just a matter of matchup in which I choose to use him or not. In most cases, I'm probably not using the secret rare, but he's good to have just in case. Because you never know who you're going to be going up against in the client. And again, green 8-drop Broly is still a menace. Cell can be pretty oppressive depending on the build. Having this guy for green specifically is going to do a lot for you. And that's why he's kind of in here. Then yeah, obviously 4 super combos. Doesn't really matter what you use for the super combos. It's just there. And then for the extra card, we're just using Death Balls. Getting an extra 15,000 power while resting a 3 cost or less. It's a pretty solid card, all things considered. Now, when set 3 comes out, set 3 has some hard removal options coming in its card pool. So I'm pretty sure I might bring this down to 2 and maybe put in an extra option or 2 just in case. I think there's actually one of the extra cards allows you to rest something, perma-lock it, and then draw. So that might replace this just because of how good that would be. Because the idea of this deck is mainly for the freezing aspect, and I would like to be able to keep that kind of theme going as best as I possibly can. But obviously it's going to be really dependent on how we make that work. But that's going to do it for the deck profile, guys. Very self-explanatory. Frieza's not really doing... This deck itself isn't really doing anything too much different than than how he's always kind of been built since set 1. The only difference being is that the end game is obviously these 2 here, and making sure that things stay locked. We'll see how this deck changes going into set 3. We'll see what gets added, what doesn't get added, and whatnot going into that. But let me know what you guys think down below. How do you guys build your Frieza deck? I'm curious to see how everybody else kind of plays their stuff. But yeah, if you guys could also consider hitting that subscribe button, liking the video. It really does help with the algorithm and kind of getting our channel out there. We are pushing for 200 subscribers by the end of August, and we're getting close there. We're about 53 subscribers away from hitting that, so I think it's doable. We still have 3 weeks left in the month, so but yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you guys again for watching. As always, you guys are awesome. I will see you guys all in the next video. Peace.